Welcome back to this in-depth exploration of plant reproduction. In this section, we will delve into the crucial processes of pollination, fertilization, and seed dispersal. These mechanisms play a vital role in sustaining life on Earth by promoting genetic diversity, adaptation, and the spread of plant populations. We will explore the different types and mechanisms of pollination, the process of fertilization, and the diverse methods of seed dispersal. We will also discuss the impact of human activities on plant reproduction and the importance of conservation and restoration efforts. Let's dive into this fascinating topic and discover the wonders of plant reproduction. Part 1. Pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen from the male reproductive organs to the female reproductive organs of a plant, which is essential for successful reproduction. There are two types of pollination: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs when the pollen from a plant's own flower fertilizes its own eggs. Cross-pollination, on the other hand, occurs when the pollen from one plant fertilizes the eggs of another plant. Plants use different mechanisms for pollination, including wind, water, and animals. Wind-pollinated plants, such as grasses and trees like oak and birch, produce large quantities of small, lightweight pollen that can be carried by the wind. Water-pollinated plants, such as seagrasses and water lilies, release their pollen directly into the water. Animal-pollinated plants, such as flowering plants, rely on animals such as bees, butterflies, birds, and bats to transfer pollen from one flower to another. Pollination plays a crucial role in plant evolution and genetic diversity. By promoting the exchange of genetic material between plants, pollination leads to the development of new and unique plant varieties that can better adapt to changing environments. Furthermore, pollination is essential for the production of fruits, seeds, and nuts that are vital sources of food for both humans and wildlife. In the next section, we will explore the process of fertilization in plant reproduction. Part 2. Fertilization. Fertilization is the second crucial step in the process of plant reproduction. It is the fusion of the male and female gametes that results in the formation of a zygote, which eventually develops into a seed. Pollen, which contains the male gametes, needs to reach the female reproductive organs of the plant for fertilization to occur. This can happen through various methods, such as wind, water, and animal-mediated transport. Once the pollen lands on the stigma, it begins to germinate and grow a tube called the pollen tube, which carries the male gamete to the female gamete inside the ovule. The ovule then develops into a seed, containing a new generation of plants with genetic variation. Successful fertilization is crucial for plant reproduction, as it enables genetic diversity and promotes adaptation and evolution of plant species. It also plays a crucial role in the production of fruits and vegetables that are essential for human and animal consumption. Understanding the process of fertilization is crucial for plant breeders and geneticists, who use various techniques to manipulate and improve the genetic traits of plants. In the next section, we will explore the third and final step in the process of plant reproduction: seed dispersal. Part 3. Seed dispersal. Seed dispersal is the process by which seeds are spread from the parent plant to a new location. This process is essential for the survival and proliferation of plant species. There are three main types of seed dispersal: wind dispersal, water dispersal, and animal dispersal. Wind dispersal occurs when seeds are carried away by the wind. Many plants have developed adaptations to facilitate this type of dispersal, such as wings or hairs on the seed that allow it to catch the wind and be carried away to a new location. Examples of plants that use wind dispersal include dandelions and maple trees. Water dispersal occurs when seeds are transported by water. This can happen in several ways, such as when seeds are buoyant and float on the surface of water, or when they are able to survive being submerged in water for long periods of time. Examples of plants that use water dispersal include coconuts and water lilies. Animal dispersal occurs when seeds are carried by animals. This can happen in several ways, such as when animals eat the fruit of a plant and then deposit the seeds elsewhere through their feces, or when seeds become attached to an animal's fur or feathers and are carried to a new location. Examples of plants that use animal dispersal include burdock and mistletoe. Seed dispersal plays an important role in the survival and evolution of plant species. By spreading their seeds to new locations, plants are able to colonize new habitats and increase their chances of survival. Additionally, seed dispersal promotes genetic diversity within plant populations, which can help them adapt to changing environmental conditions. It's also important to note that human activities can have a significant impact on seed dispersal. For example, habitat destruction and fragmentation can limit the ability of plants to disperse their seeds to new locations, which can lead to a decline in plant populations. It's crucial that we take steps to protect and conserve plant ecosystems to ensure the continued survival and proliferation of plant species. In the next section, we'll discuss the ways in which human activities have affected plant reproduction and the importance of conservation and restoration efforts in protecting plant ecosystems. Part 4. Human impact on plant reproduction. 3 minutes. Plants are crucial for the survival of all living beings, but human activities have been putting a tremendous strain on their reproduction. One of the most significant threats to plant reproduction is habitat destruction. As humans expand their settlements, clear forests, and destroy natural habitats, plant populations lose their ability to grow and reproduce, leading to their decline and extinction. Pollution is another significant threat to plant reproduction. Contamination of air, soil, and water with toxic chemicals harms plants' reproductive organs, pollinators, and seed dispersers, leading to reduced fertility and reproduction. For example, some pesticides are lethal to pollinators such as bees, which are essential for plant pollination. In addition to habitat destruction and pollution, climate change is also a significant threat to plant reproduction. Changes in temperature, rainfall, and weather patterns disrupt the timing of flowering and fruiting, making it difficult for plants to synchronize their reproductive cycles with their pollinators and seed dispersers. This can lead to reduced seed production, lower genetic diversity, and ultimately, the decline of plant populations. To protect plant reproduction and maintain healthy ecosystems, conservation and restoration efforts are crucial. Preserving natural habitats, reducing pollution, and implementing sustainable land use practices can help protect plant populations and promote their reproduction. Restoring degraded habitats and reintroducing native species can also help increase the genetic diversity of plant populations and promote their adaptation and evolution. Part 5. Examples of plant reproduction. In addition to the more common forms of plant reproduction, there are some truly fascinating examples of how plants propagate themselves. Asexual reproduction is one such example, and some plants like strawberries and spider plants can reproduce without the need for pollination. Instead, they produce runners, or stolons, that sprout into new plants. This method of reproduction is efficient and allows for the creation of numerous identical offspring. Another interesting example is the pollination mechanism of orchids. These beautiful flowers have evolved a number of unique adaptations to attract their pollinators, which can include bees, wasps, and even hummingbirds. Some orchids have evolved to mimic the appearance and scent of female insects to trick the males into attempting to mate with the flower. Others have evolved a long nectar spur that requires a specific type of pollinator with a long proboscis to reach the nectar. Finally, there is the unusual case of the corpse flower, also known as the Titan arum. This massive flower can grow up to 10 feet tall and emits a putrid odor, akin to rotting flesh, to attract carrion beetles and flies for pollination. This flower only blooms once every few years, making it a rare and spectacular sight. Studying these unique examples of plant reproduction not only helps us understand the incredible diversity of life on Earth, but also has potential applications in agriculture and medicine. By studying how plants reproduce, we can learn how to improve crop yields and develop new medicines. In conclusion, plant reproduction is a fascinating and essential aspect of life on Earth. By understanding the roles of pollination, fertilization, seed dispersal, and other forms of reproduction, we can better appreciate the beauty and complexity of the natural world. Part 6. Examples of plant reproduction. In this section, I want to highlight some interesting examples of plant reproduction that you may not have heard of before. Did you know that some plants can reproduce asexually? For example, strawberries and spider plants can produce new plants from their runners or plantlets. This type of reproduction allows for rapid expansion of a plant population in favorable conditions. On the other hand, some plants have unusual pollination mechanisms that have evolved to attract specific pollinators. Orchids, for example, have unique floral structures that mimic the appearance and scent of female insects to lure male insects to the flower for pollination. And then there's the corpse flower, which emits an odor similar to rotting flesh to attract carrion flies for pollination. Studying these unique examples of plant reproduction not only helps us better understand the incredible diversity of life on Earth but also has potential applications in agriculture and medicine. For example, asexual reproduction in plants can be utilized for large-scale plant production in agriculture, while research on orchid pollination could lead to the development of new insect attractants. Conclusion: plant reproduction is a fascinating and crucial process that supports all life on Earth. Pollination, fertilization, and seed dispersal are essential mechanisms that promote genetic diversity and help plants adapt and evolve over time. However, human activities, such as habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change, are putting a significant strain on plant reproduction. By implementing conservation and restoration efforts, we can protect plant ecosystems and promote their reproduction, ensuring a healthy and sustainable future for all living beings.